Alright guys, so today we are going to put in a valve cover gasket, 2005 Toyota Corolla. You're going to need a valve cover gasket. You're going to need a 12-inch and a 10-inch socket. Of course, you got your socket wrench. I'm going to be using my drill. And you're going to need anti-seize lubricant, RTV silicone, and dielectric grease. Alright, so let's get it started. Alright, so my valve cover gasket is leaking on top of my alternator. You can see the oil down there. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this cover off first. I believe these are two 8mm. I'm at 10mm, so let's take that off first. Alright, yeah, so this is a 10mm socket. I'm going to remove these two. Alright, these two come off and then the cover is going to come off. Alright, now the cover comes off, two 10mm sockets. Pull our cover off and voila. And now these bolts are 10mm, so we take these out. And all these coils are interchangeable, so it doesn't matter. Alright, these tabs, all we do is, as you can see, you just push up, the tab releases, and you pull it out. Alright, so that's how we're going to take these off. And it's going to take a little, but they'll come out. Now this one's giving me a little bit of a hard time, so what I do, after I pushed it up, take my knife, go under it, and then pull it out with your other hand. Or take a screwdriver, would be better than a knife. Alright, so we got our ignition coils unscrewed, and boom, see the oil? I'm gonna pull this out. No bueno. Okay. Pull these all out. Now the last two ignition coils are not gonna come out because this bracket is holding them in. So what you have to do is see the little screw right here, that's a 10mm. Pull that out, and then you'll be able to loosen this bracket, which will let that come out. Alright, so that's what we're going to do next. That first screw to loosen the bracket, we also have another one right here. Alright, so take that one out as well. Two out, boom. You move this little bracket out of the way, and then you can pull your last two coil packs out. Alright. Alright, now that we have the coil packs out of the way, the ignition coils out of the way, next step is we're going to take off this cover. Got a few screws all around. Alright, all the way around. So we're going to take all these out. And now we're going to remove about 9 screws, I believe. You got the bolts. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you got 2 on top, 5, 6, and then you have 3 in the back. 7, 8, 9. Boom. Another thing, once you remove all the screws, we also need to remove these hoses. You got 1, 2. Alright, so you press in. And you're going to pull these hoses out. So this hose and this other one, they both come off. Alright. Alright, now these hoses, I had a problem taking it off, so what I did, I just disconnected it from here. Alright, so we'll take that with it, and then we need to disconnect this one here as well. Alright, now with these hoses, be careful, because I was taking this one off and I broke it. It's brittle, so I'm going to have to replace that whole hose, which is no big deal, but it is a big deal, So I'll get it back on for now, but that's going to have to be replaced. So just be careful when you're doing that. Alright. Alright, now 3 of these screws, your bolts you're taking out, have these like brackets that's holding them down. So one of them goes here in the corner, another one goes on this corner, and another one goes on that corner. So just be careful when you're taking out those. You know, you make sure you keep them with the bolts. All right, so now that we got everything out, we're gonna pry it out. All right, see how it moved a little bit? There it is. And you can see the blue underneath. That's the other valve cover gasket that was on there. All right, so it's coming up. We're gonna take this off. All right, there it goes. You pull them off. You know, you want to make sure you have some gloves because you don't want to touch that oil, but that's it. The valve cover gasket. That's it right there. As you can see, the old one. Now what happens is it goes around the whole edge and it covers these here. All this goes in these grooves. So when you're pulling it off, see how that breaks? So you want to make sure, because it's sticky a little bit, you want to make sure you're going to go around this with a screwdriver at the end or something to clean it good. All right, and you're going to pull that off completely. You're just breaking off. So we're going to pull that off completely. There we go. Boom. Get some brake cleaner and spray this and clean off all the gunk you can. All between here, all in here, all around the edges. Clean that off good. Do not spray any brake grease here, but you know, you still want to clean off with a very clean rag. Clean off all the edges where the gasket went. Alright, now I already did a basic cleaning around the edges, you know, where the gas is going to go. And you're going to do the same here. You're going to clean around the heads here. You know, and then along the edge where the gasket goes, you know, want to make sure you don't have any pieces of the gasket still left. All that little gunk here. We'll clean all that out all around the edges. Alright, so I finished cleaning around the edges, guys, all the way around it. So we're looking good right now. The thing about our valve cover gasket, the new one, look at it. You got the top part, and the way you tell the bottom part is the skinnier part. Because remember, these are going to actually go inside of the gasket. I mean, not the gasket, but the head. So these are going to actually go inside. This is what stops it from leaking. All right. So these go inside the grooves. All right. So you want to make sure you have it the right way. So I'm going to turn it upside down right now because we're going to spray it with some adhesive so we can go ahead and put it together. Adhesive spray, we're going to spray it on the outside edges, and we're also going to do that to the gasket as well. And we're going to do 2 coats of the adhesive. All right, now what we're going to do now is going to take the valve cover gasket and put it, be careful, and you're going to put it inside of the the valve cover. I think I'm going to put the middle part first. There we go. And everything else, you know how to make it fall into place. Alright, so we got them inside. You got the valve cover gasket on the gasket. Alright. Alright, so now it's time to put our gasket back on, y'all. So this is how it's gonna go. Put it back on. Alright guys, so it's going back on. Just make sure you get this little bolt in the hole correct way here. That's the main thing. Make sure you don't break this tab. We're looking good. And then we're gonna bolt it down once we get it all the way on. Alright, everything is lining up and looking good. I'm just gonna start putting the bolts in without tightening them. Just put them in their places. Alright, so I know I had 3 in the back, 2 up top. So we'll start doing that. Remember these grommets we talked about earlier? If you press them, one side is soft, one side is hard. So the soft side is the part that goes down, and the hard side goes up to the screw, okay? All right, now remember I told you that I put all the screws in, the bolts in. The last 2, they go on top. I haven't put those in yet. I haven't tightened any of them yet. But remember, the soft side goes to the bottom. This hard side goes to the top of the screw to the head. All right, so that's how we'll put these in. Now when we tighten up our screws, we do these 2 first, the top ones, and then we go around. All right, now we got our coils, ignition coils, and we're just gonna put a little dielectric grease inside of it and put our coils in. They go down, clip them in, and that's it, we're done. All right, so I put those 2 in first so I can go ahead and tighten down that bracket. And then we'll keep going from there. All right, so we got the bracket in here, and then we're just gonna tighten it up. And then we'll keep going and putting the rest of these in. And the dielectric grease, I'm just sticking it inside and just sticking the coil right inside. That's it. Put our bolt in, clip it back in, and we're good. And you can put some dielectric grease in the connector too before you connect it. Alright guys, once you finish taking off the, putting everything back together, all you want to do is start your car and make sure there are no leaks. So we're going to start it, check it out, make sure there's no leaks. So we got the car started. Now before, it was leaking down here by the alternator. You will be able to see a little oil on the belt. Definitely no more leaks there. All around, there are no leaks. Alright, you just check all around, make sure you don't have any leaks, and you're good. Now that hose, remember that I broke earlier? I connected it back, but I'm going to buy another one. It's called a PCV ventilation hose. It's like $20-something on Amazon. So you go buy that piece if you break it like I did. And I remember I just broke here, the tip. So it works. Still been on there. I drove it around a little bit around the block just to test it out. But we're good. We're good to go. We're gonna order that hose, put it on when it comes, the new one. But for now, we look good, man. Corolla back on the road, baby. Be sure that you like the video and subscribe to my channel. Any work I do, I'm going to be posting it so you guys can see how to save money and not get robbed by these mechanic shops. All right, have a great day.